This computer. Okay. And is it
Yes.
recording?
And it is.
It incorrectly. Okay. All right.
There it is. Okay, I have to appreciate it. Like, I want to take a minute and appreciate everything. I see
Okay.
that the bookshelf behind you, was that earlier the setup, or was it something
Well,
similar? Because I
no,
remember.
what I pretty much the surrounding is the same. It's just that I had my sofa on this wall, and so I would look out
Ah,
toward the door. And you mean
okay.
I've got stuff in here that I don't really want in here, but I've now I can look out. I don't know if you can,
Hmm.
hard to turn it around, but I can see outside, and it's just, I have a
See
beautiful
it reflecting,
neighborhood. Yeah, yeah.
reflecting
See my
glasses.
glasses? Yeah,
Beautiful. Yeah.
beautiful environment, and I can sit here on my sofa and just relax. And yeah,
So good. Love it. And it looks so inviting. Like, just
yeah.
it looks open, it looks spacious. I mean, I have to say, you're really good with, of course, designing and creative stuff. But
Thank you.
like,
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm really appreciating it.
I just got a,
I mean,
like, all of a sudden, I just felt inspired. I was watching a YouTube video on decorating that had, I mean, it was, $1 million home or whatever, but I was like, I should rearrange my living room, kind of like
yeah,
Esther did.
yeah. Why wait for the $1 million? Like,
Right.
this is like making it look like that. It looks so good. It
Yeah.
looks so much
So
more spacious.
my sewing center is to the left, and then
Ah,
my table behind the sofa is where I can do collage work. So I have a table
okay.
that's open now. I can just do collage, and I could actually, I'm going to try to figure out. So I'm playing with Zoom, trying to figure out, is it easier? I figured out how to, let's see, how to use your phone as a document camera, so
Ah,
that when I'm doing collage with people, I can
yeah.
see what they're doing by showing me using their phone. And I have to kind of figure that out a little bit more, but you know, then I can be able to work with it. I'm seeing you frozen a little bit. Is that a gap? If you're talking to me, I can't hear you.
Hi.
There we go. There, we're back. You were stuck.
Well, this is still better. Like, sometimes I'm stuck like this, and I know that, like, I have big eyes, and when, like, I'm like in it, like, I know I've been told a couple of times that I've been frozen in the most funniest of ways, and I love that that someone has to laugh at that. So this is still fine, like, but I love your new setup. I love how
Yeah,
it's looking, and as a client also, I just feel more invited and warm. Like,
good.
if I were to like talk to you, it
Yeah,
feels very.
yeah.
So how's everything going? How are things?
Well, I've had several big awarenesses this week. Um, I realized that I have some fear about just become, things not going as I think they should go when I retire, and that I end up just going into this depression. In the past, I've had long periods of depression,
Mhm.
and for many years, or at least in my made up story, this
Yeah.
only happened long time ago. But anyway, I was listening to an Abraham video, and they were talking about depression because I looked it up. And
Mhm.
basically what I realized was that's just, it's only my a resistant belief. That's all it is. And so about something. And so, because I was feeling like it was kind of out of control, like I slide into depression, and lately I haven't really had it. It's just been a fear of it. And
Mm.
so, like, I have less to do, and then this doesn't go well, or whatever. But
Yeah.
anyway, so that realization just, like, it really turned things around for me. I felt like, you know, you can give yourself a break. You can be soothing to
Mhm.
yourself, because I tend to want to work on it. So this whole week has been about
Yeah.
looking at places where I try to work, put effort into something.
Yeah.
And since what, you know, what you were talking about. So I realized that it's really a time to number one, realize that it's only about a resistant
Mm.
belief. So it's
Yeah.
not like this
Mm-hmm.
huge problem that, you know, that's coming up, and I've got a mental issue and I got to see, you know, it's nothing like that. I don't have to take, you know, antidepressants, which I did, you know, at one time, but I let it get out of hand. I mean, we're talking like years of resistance and then
Yeah.
years of depression. So realizing that, it's like I have a handle on this. I don't even have to get to depression, like where there's days of depression or anything like that. I can take a nap and
Yeah.
know that, you know, because in the past I might take a nap and be worried that I'm not doing anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know, about it. In reality, I didn't need to. I just needed to soften up on myself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and I work
Yeah.
with a lady who has recurring depression, and I was going to say something to her, and I thought, no, I'm just going to see her differently, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
if I have an opportunity to say, you know, I've experienced that and this is what I think about it, I can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So she ended up winning like $600 in the lottery that
Are you serious?
day when I was thinking about that. I thought, so this was the next realization. I was thinking about, I woke up this morning thinking about the friend that I told you about, my friend who wanted me to work with her daughter. And I thought, you know, I've been letting that go, and it just really has not bothered me. And the awareness I had was, I had this tightness in my stomach and doubt about working with her, thinking, can
Mm-hmm.
I really turn around whatever issues she's having? And then I realized that was my indicator that that is not the kind of work that I need to
Mm,
be doing.
true.
And that I am trained as a prayer practitioner,
Okay.
and so is her mother.
Oh,
And I
okay.
started to imagine I've already done my work. I've seen
Yeah.
it working out for her. I've seen it being easy. I've seen it, her having realizations. I've seen her getting help. You know, there's no lack of time. There's no lack
Mm,
of money. There's no lack of support. None
yeah.
of that is true. And part of what we studied was Emma Curtis Hopkins. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She's called the mother of New Thought or something like that. And
Yep.
she was famous. She taught the person who founded religious science. She was a student of the lady who developed Christian Science.
Okay.
So Unity. I don't know if you're familiar with any of
Mhm.
these religions,
Yeah.
but Unity
Yeah.
Church.
Yeah.
She the founder of Unity Church. She trained them. Anyway, what she would do was people would come to her. In fact, she got kicked out of Christian Science because she kind of perfected her own thing,
Yeah.
and the same things that Abraham tells us. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, a client would come to her. She always wore this nice little prim dress with a hat and gloves. She would go to
Okay.
the next. They would kind of give her some sense of what was going on. She would go to another room
Uh-huh.
and sit there and know the truth for them, so that
Mm.
she didn't get caught up in the story and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought that's what I was doing. And I didn't
Yeah.
need to meet with her personally. Maybe
Yeah.
I would suggest that she do a collage on what she wanted,
Yeah.
not on, you know, all this stuff,
Exactly.
this other
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are the two really big things that
That's
I
huge.
came to this week.
And I see you're all lit up. Like I was just
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
sitting back and like enjoying how lit up you were with these realizations.
Yeah.
I really loved it. Like I would be like,
Yeah.
I want to just keep listening to you. This
Yeah,
is so
it's just fun. It's fun. I mean, because it just, that kind of took all the weight off, and it's like, because I part of it niggling in my mind was that her mother's already paid me.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
thought, what if it was so easy? I've already done my work.
Exactly.
That's it, you know,
That's
and I get paid for that.
and that gets to be a new standard for you. Like, things can be
Yeah,
simple.
yeah,
And I don't have to like go out and do like XYZ and everything to like, create an invoice and then it is worth that money. No, you did
yeah,
your job. And that's
exactly.
what
Yeah,
you just did right there. This is
yeah.
beautiful.
So
Like,
that feels wonderful. And when I think of my other friend who wants me to do it with her friends, I mean, her
yeah,
daughters, her girls, it's like, that's the kind of fun thing I want to do. Help people
exactly.
line up their vision, and they're excited and they just have a little gap. They know there's a gap and we'll do it that way. So
I mean, it sounds just perfect. Like, I'm just like, I think you've got it. I
yeah.
don't
And
know
then
what else.
after that, in the process of that, that's when I was like, oh, let me rearrange my living room because this will
Yeah,
make it easier for me to do that kind of work.
exactly. And it's just so lovely that you don't have to have like a business plan or something. Like from this
Yeah,
beautiful idea that was fun and exciting and this clarity that came through you,
yeah,
steps just fall in line. Like you're like, okay, let me rearrange my room. Let me just do that because this is gonna be fun. Like
yeah,
everything will just fall into place like that. And you've just like zeroed in on the energy, I think, of very specifically of what you want to feel and what it was.
yeah,
Like you're lit up with that.
yeah,
And I don't know. I think you got it.
yeah.
I think you got
It's in the works. I can
it.
just, come back to that and remember that and,
Exactly.
um, what do you say? Cultivate it,
Mm-hmm. Let it grow. Let it like shape up.
Yeah,
All you
yeah,
need to do, like to water it. You don't even have to think about it or something. You just
yeah,
can come back to the feeling
right.
if you ever, because it feels good, not because you're trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
But I love. I don't know whatever this is right now. Like I'm in awe right now. Just I see like a brand new Melanie today.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like really, like kind of dumbstruck. Like what is just happening right now? Looking
Yeah,
beautiful. This is
thanks.
feeling so good, and it's just such an
Yeah,
inviting energy. And
yeah.
I think they do this in NLP. I'm not so familiar with it. That they like kind of put it in a finger, put it on your finger, like whatever energy, whatever.
Oh, huh. Oh, and you're
Yeah,
tapping with your finger or what?
there's this. I've seen Gina do it. I've seen a couple of NLP practitioners
Mm-hmm.
do it. Like
Mm-hmm.
when someone identifies a memory or a feeling or something, they're like, okay, put it on your finger. Like imagine if all the
Oh,
feeling is like here, and
okay.
then it's like a button. So it's like a trigger. It's a good trigger.
Oh, okay.
A button. I've never done it. I've never had it done to me, but I like the concept that you can put a finger on this feeling again. You can be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what it was. It's
Oh,
right here. So
yeah.
even if you go like it goes away or something, you can just come
Right.
back to
Put it on
it
my
could be
finger.
put it on a finger. Like I haven't done this, but for me, or it's like an anchor. Like I remember when I remember something like an old memory, or I look at something and it just is like a love button, and it
Yeah.
reminds me of something.
Mm.
It just flushes back in. So I would
Yeah.
love, like I think this is like a beautiful energy that you have right now, and
Yeah.
I want to
Mm.
this monument for this because it's so beautiful.
It feels really good. And actually, it's just been, because I can talk to you about it and you understand the mechanics and the process and the
Yeah.
value of it. It's like, I really feel like I even feel more now talking about it and being excited about it than I was, even a few minutes ago. I was just kind of putting it together and I was like, wow, this is great.
Great stuff. And I mean, I have to say, I really see you so differently. I know I keep repeating this right now, but I'm seeing like you're like lighter, you're like flying, or you're like floating. You're just so
Yeah.
light with everything. Because initially, I think we were just like trying to figure it out, trying to get to release and, focus, feel, and this and that. Like we have to fix this or figure this out. But right now, you're
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
free of the dead weight. There's nothing.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I have to say that I did kind of struggle with it at the beginning of the week because I was like, what am I going to do? I mean, like, I was trying not to do it and then,
Yeah.
so that was that, but then, then these things happen. And I was trying to see on Facebook the live stream for
Mhm.
the Abraham Fund, Zoom thing. I could not get it, but I kind of looked through some of the old ones because I was like, oh, here are the old ones. And I
Yeah.
was looking at uh, Ramona's talk,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the three things she was saying, I've got them written down here. Do whatever it takes to feel good. The only rule, the only skill, discern what feels good. And the only habit, let things progress naturally.
Wow.
That's like,
Wow.
that's the whole story right there.
Right there, down in 3 steps. That is so beautiful. And
Yeah,
that was the reason why you couldn't find the recording, because you had to find this one that
exactly.
resonated so
Yeah. See,
much.
I believe that so firmly now. My inner being is always in there doing
Yeah.
something,
It's like
and now I
trying,
recognize it.
yeah. It's like, I'm gonna block this video right now for Melanie, and I'm gonna like, it's like a tech wizard right there. I'm gonna block Facebook so that Melanie goes and sees. Like inner being is like everywhere. Like Lovey Madison is
Yeah,
everywhere guiding
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think,
And I write down questions
hmm,
and I get the answer. One of the
hmm,
questions was, how can I work with somebody using collage and be able to see their work? Because if we were in person, I'd be looking over while they were in process.
hmm,
And then I started watching, there's all these videos on teachers and how to teach over Zoom. And I found
ah,
this one lady, and all of a sudden they said something about a document camera. So what? What's a document camera? And then I started researching that. And then there were all these videos on YouTube about creating a document camera with your phone. I'm like, okay.
of course,
Yeah.
of course, you found that. Oh my
So
God.
when I write, and now I write down a really clear question and then notice where and how it comes about afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that you have built that connection, because I noticed what you created your beautiful collages, like they look so yummy to look at. But
Mhm.
then something that you said that was about, trusting the universe again,
Yeah.
um, returning home to the proverbial father, or just like, because you said something like, in the past you thought God wasn't helping when I needed,
Yeah.
and all of that old story. Right
Mhm.
now it seems so much more like it's so much better, this relationship, like you're
Oh,
trusting,
yeah.
you're having clear
Mhm.
signs.
Yeah.
So I love how that shift has happened beautifully.
I expect it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in expectation about it. It's not a doubt.
Yeah,
It's going to happen. I get an
it's not,
answer.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's not hope, it's not faith, it's just
Mhm.
expectation that yeah, it is
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
And doing everything, the tiniest of, you know
Yeah.
Facebook direction, or camera, like God has become tech savvy, by the way, right now. Like
Oh, yeah.
he knows how to play with
They
it.
even
I
know
mean,
how to direct you through tech, so you get the right
exactly,
one, the right video.
exactly. So tell me about the collages. Like, how did that flow through? How did that come about? Like these two beautiful things that you've created about being taken care
Yeah.
of in 2009 that you had created,
Well,
but
these are old ones. They were done in
2009,
was
I
it
think you've written
nine?
here.
Yeah, 2009. Um, I was actually talking about Emma Curtis Hopkins. We were taking um, a book study about a book that was written that kind of translated and made more of a modern
Mm-hmm.
translation of her, because she was around in, I think, early 1900s or something like that. And when not a lot of people necessarily were, but there was a small group of people who were interested in some of that. um, so anyway, and this was through my spiritual center. So we were told that the way they were going to run the meeting was, or the class, was that they gave us journals. They were just composition books.
Yeah.
And we would do, as we would represent our understanding of what we were reading in the form of a collage. So the whole course was collages. And I just, collages just really opened my mind up. And I was really actually feeling down in the dumps about my, I was told in therapy that my father, because of how I was raised, my father was an alcoholic. And because of that, I was always going to attract men who are alcoholics. I was always going to have certain experiences, and you just live with it and you learn how to deal differently. So anyway, I was just feeling down in the dumps about that. And I started doing a collage because I said, I'm going to pick my father. And I did a previous one, which I don't show, which was like, I had pictures of a celebrity that I thought he looks like the kind of father, he would have the temperament and everything.
Yeah.
And then I ended up, then that somehow that moved, we always talk about God being our father and all that. And I was like, and I realized how I was feeling about God. And then I said, okay, I'm going to shift this, because I'm going to change that experience, and started doing, I literally did a collage where I just thought about the idea and pulled pictures, and stuff just, of course, just all came about. And I don't know if you may not be able to see the picture, but President Obama is holding his daughter at the very bottom of the one where I'm the prodigal daughter. It's like the right, I think I have it.
I see it.
He's holding his daughter, and it might be hard to see. There's another lady, she's a model, and she's doing some kind of clothing. It's up near the top right. And she's landing in the New York street with this outfit on, this fashionable outfit. And then I wrote, Daddy, I'm home. And I don't know if I included that in there. And it was just like, it was just this total shift of mind that I was always in the stead of God, that I really didn't have anything to worry about. And so, that was, and that made those two collages, that one and the one I talked about previously, I dropped that whole idea, you're always going to be, because I was mad at my dad. That was like, you are the reason why I'm never going to have anybody,
That's not true.
Yeah, no. And so it just made a huge, huge difference. That's one of the key. I have a whole book of collages, but that's one. That one, and I think the other one I showed you were two, like really pivotal collages as a process of that.
I'm loving. I want to just come back to this thing of feeling well-being, like just feeling like you can trust the universe, feeling like things are just lining up. And I don't know, I am just so lit up by your energy where you are right now. I'm like really at a loss for words. Like, let's just explore that. Like, tell me more about how are you lit up? Like,
now, now I'm feeling similar to, because I'm remembering something. Did I write you a little bit about how I was driving to work a few weeks ago, and I just felt
you mentioned
like it was this feeling of total euphoria.
Yes.
For no reason at all. And I'm driving along and I'm thinking about flow, and I'm thinking, and time like literally slowed down when I was driving, and it was like I was coming into the flow of other cars. They were slower. I was like really revving up, I was at a high vibrational level, and I was literally deliberately slowing to be able
Uh-huh.
to get in the flow of the
Yeah.
physical, because
Yeah.
I was like out here. I was really like really just
Yeah.
feeling so good. And I was, like I said, for like I couldn't even attach it to any particular reason. But and it was like that pretty much my whole way to work. It was
Wow.
just this altered reality where I don't know, it was, and I remember thinking how silly you are to in the past have thought that anything could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I just had
Mm-hmm.
that really strong feeling like nothing can go wrong. Everything, it was like a comprehension that there's just no way anything can go wrong. It just
I could cry right now because this is moving. I don't know what you're somewhere else right now. I love this so much.
I appreciate you appreciating that, because I don't feel exactly like that. Maybe I've moved
Shifted.
into it feeling like that as a regular thing. And
Yeah,
I
of
don't feel like that every moment, of course.
course.
But when you asked that question, about feeling, that was, I felt that way when I was in treatment, in cancer treatment. And I felt like even more like that. Like I said, nothing was going wrong, nothing was going, exceptionally well. It just,
Hmm.
boom, I was in that mode.
Yeah.
And I
And
love to be there. I've said, Lovey, I'm ready to be there a lot more
yeah,
often.
yeah.
So I feel like,
And yeah, again, another thing, I don't know, but I love this. Another thing to go back to, like this, just to remember that, wow, that happened. That was beautiful.
yeah,
And you can just
yeah,
feel the traces of that beautiful memory, that that's how it felt, and it can come back to you. And you don't have to meditate for hours to get into that alignment.
right,
You don't
yeah,
have to do too much like work, focus fields or this or that or everything. It just happened
yeah.
while
And
you're
I see,
driving.
I think that's because you prompted that this week. Don't,
Hmm.
try to make anything. Don't try
Yeah.
to create well-being, just have well-being. Just, and that's where I was kind of like, oh, I don't know how am I going to do this, but
My thought right after we finished the call was, I think wrote it down also. She's trying to make well-being happen. Like I wrote
mm,
it in the bold words, like trying to make well-being happen.
yeah,
Which is like, as you said, something like how foolish of me to think that something could go wrong. So it's just one state that
mm,
we may be at, where we think that we need to make it
yeah,
happen. We need to do
yeah,
something about it. We need to get into alignment. We need to da 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 da, as you said,
yeah,
figure out my past and do all of that.
yeah,
But if you just tune into like this higher, as you said, just go into the flow, go downstream, and like, okay,
mm,
this is normal. I get
yeah,
to know this. Well-being is not created, it's not forced, it's not efforted. It just is,
mm, yeah,
and you just like, stop resisting it and stop thinking that you have to do something.
yeah. In fact, I
I,
think that's why in the
mhm,
past depression for me has gotten deeper and deeper and deeper, is
mhm.
because I'm thinking, oh my God, I need to do something.
Yes,
I need to
yeah.
change this. Yeah. When
And
now
yeah,
I know I don't have to do all that. I just
yeah.
need to, relax. Don't
Mhm.
think you have to do something, just be with
Yeah,
it. Just let it pass. Just let your vibration raise.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that could be something that we all, as law of attraction students and teachers, can be like, okay, there's like this plethora of things that you can do, and this is good
Yeah.
and that is good. But all of that
Yeah.
is good from a place of already feeling good and then playing with it. I
Yeah.
like, all of this is for play. None of it is to fix something,
Yeah.
because it fundamentally, the thing of fixing something is just the fundamental lack-based place that I need to fix something,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing is to just accept it and be like, okay, and then just, release and completely be okay. and
Yeah.
then you feel good, then you might want to play with something, or you just might want to take a nap, which is
Right.
equally good.
Yeah.
You might just go to work and be driving, and then you can be in total bliss.
Yeah.
Like, we make too much hard work of this, as even Abraham makes, they say that,
Yeah.
we spew endless words at you and we're making it a big deal out of it. But it is good actually, because it's just like, feel good. Choose to feel good. That's
Just to
all.
feel good. And let it just, that's the step 5. That's step
Mm-hmm.
5.
Right
Noticing
there.
you're not in the place you want to be and just going, oh, well, okay. You know,
Exactly.
let it move.
And you
Yeah.
don't have, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go right on.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. What were you going to say? Do you remember?
Uh, I just like, I noticed that you said that the fear of depression, not the depression itself, but the fear of, oh, that could happen or something, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not your story anymore at all. Like,
Yeah.
because you're like so fundamentally taken care of. You're so like, and
Mm-hmm.
not because you have done a lot or you've done enough as a practitioner, because you've
Mm-hmm.
none of that.
Yeah.
It's just because you're just like, okay, that's not my story anymore. So I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
play with that. Even though I understand that that's what happened back then, when I try to dig in deeper and try to fix it. And so you can
Mm-hmm.
understand it, but it doesn't mean that you're trying to understand it to prevent it from happening in the future. It's
Right.
just not is in my future, or like not
Yeah.
playing with that.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. People do get depressed, and I know it can be, of course, depressing, but then you can choose to like, now that you know what you know, is like, that's not my life anymore, that's not what's going to happen, so I don't have to fear it. Also,
Yeah.
I accept it for what it was, and I don't have to fear it,
Yeah.
because well-being is the norm for you.
Mm-hmm.
And unconditional, that's what unconditional was like.
Yeah.
Universe doesn't need you to do something to get into alignment, to do something to get into the vortex. You could be driving to
Mm.
work and just
Fall
allow
in
it, or
there.
fall in there. Exactly. It's like so abundantly available to you.
Yeah.
So no more
Yeah.
trying to make well-being happen. It's just like, accept it. Okay, fine. I just accept it. Let go of the stuff. Let go of the work that I have to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then even more information about actually doing work that's
mhm,
so easy. Edgar Casey, I'm sure you've probably heard of him. And the sleeping prophet.
mhm,
I read his biography, parts of it. I didn't really like to read the whole thing
yeah.
because the way it's written is he had a lot of really difficult things happen during his
Mhm,
lifetime, and according to this author, not really feel
mm,
satisfied with his
mhm,
life, even though,
mm.
gee,
Yeah.
the guy was going to sleep and doing his work.
Exactly.
So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with daydreaming about somebody and it
Yeah,
supports them changing and
yeah.
getting clearer and more aware and solving their issues. So
What I feel right now is just like this, somehow this knowing of ease has fallen into place for you. Like, it gets to be easy. It's just, a
yeah,
new shift somehow has happened. Like, I can feel it
yeah,
really just by talking to you. We're not trying to fix any problems here. Like, right now, it's just like things are all good. It
yeah,
feels good.
yeah.
It's just,
It's a
uh,
natural process. That's what I
mhm,
found this week. I even notice at work where I do get, it's like, what does Abraham says? It's drama because it's
mhm,
interesting about how much product we have, and we when we're responsible for a particular area, we're supposed to know the count, the numbers of the count for the product should be correct. So we shouldn't have 10
yeah.
and the count says we have 5. But that's a big issue. That's the thing everybody complains about. Somebody
Yeah.
did my counts and they didn't do them right. I got more. Now I'm getting in too much stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so exhausting.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, I'm like stirring it up. I'm like, okay, no, we gotta go at
Mm.
this much differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it all gets to be like easy and relaxed, and
Easy and relaxed.
I don't know. I'm just loving it. Right? I don't feel like we need to fix
I know.
something.
This is work right here. This is valid. This is valuable.
Yeah. Because we think that we need to do something and we need to figure stuff out and everything, but
Right.
the actual work and appreciation, like when you're
Yeah.
sitting in appreciation, you're making so much happen, and not even happen, you're just allowing things which have already lined up to flow a bit closer to you, a bit closer to, because none of it, we're not doing any of it anyway. Like law of attraction is
Right.
managing it, our inner beings are doing all of the
Right.
work. We're just like the perceiver of it. We're just like
Yeah, we're
allowing our
supposed to be enjoying it. We're supposed to be the ones that are like appreciating it so that there's more and more and more and more fun, more everything, more enjoyment, more satisfaction, more for all of life to have. We're increasing what life has. We're cutting
Mhm.
edge. We're and it's interesting because that's my thing is cutting edge. I mean, I've had other awarenesses too this week about,
Tell me all.
I have a friend who
Yeah.
we've kind of not been as close.
Okay.
Um, and through, stuff in the past, but she is a coach, or she's an
Mm.
intimacy coach.
Ah,
And so her thing is sex,
yeah.
relationships, coupledom. And I've been able to look at her work. There's been a period where I think I was so jealous that she's doing so. I mean,
Mm.
she's doing interviews all over different
Ah,
media
okay.
centers. She used to be marketing for Red Lobster, which is a big
Hmm.
restaurant chain here.
Okay. Okay.
um, and she's really good at what she does. She's, and we don't interpret life in the same way, even though she's also
Hmm.
believes in law of attraction and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I've been able to listen to a couple of her videos and
Okay.
really could, I appreciate this and, maybe don't agree with that, but I appreciate that. And so that's been a big shift for me, is that. And I was actually talking to my mother about it, and I was thinking to myself, wow, you have really moved because
Yeah. Able
I
to
could
appreciate it.
appreciate it and see what she offers. And she even had a recent one where, well, okay, anyway, no, I don't need to go into detail, but the awareness that I had was that she really does well getting into the negative
Mm-hmm.
and then switching to the positive.
Okay.
That's a big thing for her. She's very good. I even look back, I think of her childhood and because I know about her life, and I
Yeah.
thought, this is the phrase I came up with, she's taken lemons and made lemonade out of it. And she's
True. Mm-hmm.
very good at doing that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really want to mess with that. That's not
Yeah.
my thing. I like cutting edge. I like jumping right into the positive.
Mm-hmm.
But I could
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that her approach, where her approach came from and how valuable it is and how good at her life, how she's been at taking lemons and making it into lemonade, and how
Yeah.
that's her share for people.
Yeah.
And that I have mine, and mine's
Mm-hmm.
valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time that I really saw, because I would kind of think, oh, I judge it. I was like, oh, she's got to go back over into that nasty stuff and then go to this, and it's she does it in a way that really works for people. So they're
Mm-hmm.
not going deeply into it necessarily, but they do kind of get,
Touch
more
and then
clarity
yeah.
on that. And then she jumps into the new. And it's from listening to a couple of her recent
Mm.
videos that I thought, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And that's so great that you could do that. Like that's such a
Yeah.
huge shift for you.
Without feeling any need, any jealousy, no envy. You know, it's like she's been working on this for a few years. I mean, she's
Yeah.
got an international following and everything. She's written a couple books. She's, you know, so,
That's
and I knew
amazing.
her when.
Hmm.
I remember telling her I was learning how to read people's energy and tell their future.
Uh-huh.
And I saw for her, I said, you're going to be so well known and so big doing what
Wow.
you're doing. At the
Wow.
time, she could not deal with it. She was like, I
Oh.
mean, she was glad to hear it, but she was like, it just overwhelmed her. She couldn't, it was too much.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
so, and here she is.
You were right all along. Wow, that is so amazing. I didn't know you did
So
that. That is so great.
I haven't done it for a while, but yeah, I do it. In fact, my aunt says that should be part of the work that I do, really.
Mhm. If
But
if it feels good to you,
yeah,
for
because
sure.
I've
Whatever.
read objects. I can read objects and,
Wow.
practice reading objects and things like that and
You're
telling
like
people what's behind
my
that.
mind is getting blown. Like, because the more I get to know you, the more, wow. Like I knew that you're a powerhouse. Like how Anmol, like you have this amazing energy, but like there's just layers and layers and layers of just so much amazing stuff that just comes out as I'm getting to know you. I just love it. There's so much to appreciate. So I love that you could be completely okay and
Yeah,
appreciative of her,
yeah,
and that your thing is cutting edge, like going there, like beyond the leading edge. Like you're not even
yeah,
playing with what has been. You're just going right into what is wanted. And the
right,
fun thing is, like, she gets to have an international following. She gets to have all these people because they're a
yeah,
match to her. They're a match to her
right,
process. They're a match to, that's the next logical step for them in their journey.
yeah,
And it's just a co-creation, and she sets a great example of what gets to be that. Oh, because you've seen her grow, like, from here to there.
yeah,
So you see that how people just came around to her method, her thing, as the more and more I am assuming that she tuned into her own method.
yes,
And the same holds true for you. Like the more you're getting clarity on what you like to do, the more you just have
yeah,
fun with it, the more it's all juicy and exciting. And you're like, oh, do I want to play with the energy, or do I want to play with this? And you just keep adding this.
yeah,
People who want to play with you will just, like, you will have your own world.
yeah.
You create your own world. That's it.
I feel
I know.
much more comfortable and sure with that today.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I can feel that. I can
Yeah.
feel that. You're,
So it's interesting. It's interesting how it's evolving. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know, it's going there. Meanwhile, at work, I have times where I'm like, oh, I'm like really bored. See,
Hmm.
that was another thing that I was talking about, the depression part. It's like, I let my boredom get to a point
Uh-huh.
where I would literally get depressed. Maybe
Hmm.
it was more sadness or boredom, extreme boredom. Maybe it's not even, you would even call it depression, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, you see what's happening here. Things are
Yeah.
developing
Yeah.
and, here. So don't try to think, okay, any concern that,
Mm.
things aren't going to happen before
Hmm.
next year, or it might get into next year and things aren't happening. I'm like, okay, you got to stay out of that
Not going
because
there.
it'll be the perfect timing. And I've been dragging my feet. I've been forgetting
Okay.
about completing my application for Social Security, which I need to do because it takes about 4 months for it
Hmm.
to go in. Now they have a date on it. I had started it, so I just need to finish it. But no dragging my feet. It's
Yeah.
time to
Yeah. Yeah.
get going and figure out well, I don't have to figure it out, but things will it'll be clear on what I need to do next, and just kind of, you know,
We can just ask for, because we might want to, like, take a few steps ahead and be like, when procrastination happens, like Abraham Hicks, they say that it's just the wisdom to not take an action before you've lined up with what you want. So nothing
Right.
bad with procrastination or dragging your feet or any of that.
Yeah.
It's just that you could ask Lavi Madisi, or you could ask your inner being in general, that I want to feel the enthusiasm, I want to feel the excitement in my
Mm,
ideas, just my mind of this thing. Not even like I want to finish this, like
yeah.
let us finish this, let us do this. Like just I want to feel more open about it, because
Mhm.
we get to make it so easy, we don't have
Yeah.
to be harsh on ourselves. Okay, must make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's make a, because my go-to usually is a focus field as well. So like let's make a focus field about it. Make it happen. But like even recently I was like, you know what I want, like I'm noticing in this moment that I feel that, oh, this is not happening. So there's
Mhm.
like a little bit of contrast here. I'm
Yeah.
noticing. What is the opposite? Oh, I would want to feel excited about it. I would want to feel inspired about it. I don't
Mhm.
even have to go all the way there that, oh, I have to finish this. Let's make this happen and finish this.
Right.
And I can be easy on myself and just be like, just let
Yeah.
me feel the excitement for it. And I want to be open to that.
Yeah.
And if I play with that idea just for a moment, I even start to like identify the feeling a little bit. Yeah, yeah, that's what I want actually. Being, I want to get to that feeling.
Mhm.
You can just,
Yeah.
and it gets to be simple, it gets to be easy, it gets to be fun,
Yeah.
you know.
And then you don't get into the heavy resistance about it and everything. It's just, oh, it's light and it's opening and it's, yeah, it's, I know exactly what you mean. It feels
Mm.
good. And that's kind of what I did with thinking about Raina is
Mm.
the name of the lady.
Mm.
That's my friend's
Mm.
daughter. Just like I'm thinking that, wow, what if it's already done and she's
Yeah,
on her way to the perfect solution? That would be nice. And
exactly.
I feel really like, I don't have to do anything. I'm not efforting. This is just something I know.
So simple, and you just like hit it right in the, because it's like it's just a thing in your own mind. You play with that idea. What if? Just the
Yeah.
what if opens up this whole thing of this beautiful. It releases
Mhm.
the resistance. It releases the pressure or any burden or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's just like, what if it was done? And how would I feel? Like, and
Yeah.
the crazy part is that we are creating that as we speak. We are creating that, and we are making it happen. And we are,
Mhm.
and that's the work that we have to do, and it feels so good to do it. Like
Feels good. It feels easy. It feels light. It feels and
I mean,
people, what that's the thing is like, I know a lot of people are like, are you crazy? What?
head in the clouds, what are you doing
Yes,
living?
yes, head in the clouds, right where
Yeah,
it's
but
supposed to be.
I'm just realizing it more and more, because Abraham, they keep talking about this. You visualize or
Yeah,
you think about what you want and just imagine it and play the what
yeah,
if game, and like in so
yeah,
many words they say the same thing. But I'm just coming to realize the gravity of what they're saying, that how true and powerful it is. It's not just that they're trying to soothe you. It is the
right.
stuff, the good stuff that makes things happen. uh
Uh,
this is so
yeah,
good.
that's a new awareness for me too. It just feels so good to know that that's the case. And then when I hear other people, at work or wherever, I some, sometimes I say things, like, but most of the time, but I also accept that
Yeah.
I don't have to say anything to them. I
Hmm.
can offer my influence, my vibrational influence,
Yeah.
without saying anything to them,
Hmm.
and just, let it be so.
And if they're coming, it's again another thing they say, that whatever the co-creation is, whatever the segment is,
Yeah.
as soon as someone enters, the segment shifts. And the thing is that what are you calibrated to in that segment? Are you bringing your energy and like raising the segment, or are you tuning into
Mm,
someone else? And
mm,
I realized I used to do that when, if someone else were in a bad mood and they would enter the room, even though I was happy, I would notice, oh, they're, angry. Oh, that this happened. Oh, so I'm just like calibrating
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, I'm gonna stay here. Just stay here. I'm like, I see what happened to them. I'm not going to get into their story. I'm not going to get into what went wrong or who did wrong, as you did without, you chose not to go in the counting
Yeah.
thing. Is this right, wrong? Because you could go there. You could relate to that person. You could go into that, whatever. You're just like, no, I'm going to stay here. And you
Yeah.
notice you'll only attract people there. And the people who are, or, who are upset, they'll just like either fade away or they'll match you there.
Yeah.
I love that we can do that. Like, it gets to be so simple, like all of these
Yeah.
things that we get to
Yeah.
do.
And Abe's been saying it's simple, but I don't think and see, I came from my tradition, the spiritual tradition, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of mental work. There's a lot of mental work. And
Mm-hmm.
so even though, I mean, so that's a different level. What we're talking about
Yeah.
is really what I think Abe has been talking about. And then there's like, the focus wheels, and there's this and there's that. And in my tradition, it's treatment. It's called prayer treatment. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's a lot of mental work. In fact, one of the heads of, and I don't know what
Yeah.
required his transition, but he died of a brain tumor, brain
Mm-hmm.
cancer. And people were saying, oh, because it was up here, it had something to do with his thinking and blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I can imagine if we're doing all that mental work,
Yeah.
that it's resistance. It's
Mm.
really, a lot of it is
Yeah.
resistance and
Yeah.
holding ourselves to something we don't really believe yet.
Mm.
And that's causing resistance instead of like soothing to get to that
Mm.
point. So,
True.
and the only reason why I'm saying that is to say that I've chosen to do the easy way. And my friend who I work with is doing, walk with, is doing the
Ah,
the
many
more
ways.
traditional.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both prayer practitioners. We both were
Yeah.
trained in the same
Yeah.
thing. But me being like, I'm cutting edge, I want to jump in there, I want to do it the easiest, fastest darn way.
Yeah.
And so she's more traditional, and she's starting to lean in the direction of it being easier because she's listening more to Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hoping for her that she can loosen
Yeah.
up, you know,
Yeah.
and let things happen. Because so anyway, I don't need to go into that, but
You will be the
um,
best influence through your example, just
yeah,
by living your life, and through
yeah.
that, that
And
would be the
that I realize that because
influence.
she is right now starting her business too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been a consultant, but she's really she's got a new LLC, and she's starting,
Uh-huh.
and she's not getting regular income right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's taken a lot of classes on thought and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
from the more traditional direction.
Yeah.
So, um, sometimes I say things and sometimes I don't. So for me, it's knowing that I really, like I said, I don't have to say anything to her.
Exactly.
I can just know for her that she's moving in the best direction for herself.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you, out of all of this, you're not, even as a coach,
Mm-hmm.
someone else's well-being is not going to come through you. Like, you're not their
Yeah.
vortex. You're not the one responsible, and you don't have to make it happen. You don't have to.
Yeah. And that's an idea of not, I got a gist of that with the friend that I was talking about, with Raina, is
Mm-hmm.
feeling that like I'm
Yeah.
not responsible for that, and that she is. I may be able to lend my consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they say in our traditional, but it's
Okay.
basically, lending our vibration or our
Holding the
knowing
space.
to
Yeah.
contribute to the
True.
movement that they have. Um,
Exactly.
yeah.
Because we can't. I mean, it's a little bit, as you said, love what you shared earlier, that how foolish of me to think that, something could go wrong. And
Mhm.
in the same way, I feel like how foolish of me sometimes when I get too caught up with anyone, like especially when it's your loved ones, if you're it's your brother, your mother,
Yes.
like how foolish of me to try to think that I could take over the well-being that's natural to them, their inner
Mhm.
being which knows them so intimately. Like I could feel like I know so many things about law of attraction. I know so many things and everything, but it's
Mhm.
still like nothing as compared to what their inner being knows about them and where they want to go. Like I don't even, we can assume where they want to go. We can
Right.
assume all of those things and try to say that, okay, I'm going to make this happen for you. But I find it so much easier. And
Mm.
I've tried it, but now not with my clients. I'm glad I don't do it with my clients, but with my parents or something, because then it's like you're so invested.
Yeah.
Um, I've tried to teach, hey, change this, don't do this, da 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 da, and again try to make it happen. And when you move away and just be like, you know, they have their own well-being going on, they have their
Mm.
own inner being going on, and I'm just gonna visualize them smiling because I don't even want to assume
Mm.
that I know where
How
they
it's going
want
to
to,
work out. Yeah.
yeah, or
Mm.
what they truly want. I don't even know that. I can
Mm.
assume from my perspective
Yeah.
what they see. So I'm just gonna like, take a seat and just be like, I can imagine them smiling and feel relieved or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And so often it happens that what I was trying to tell them earlier, they come around learning that from somewhere else, or they just,
Right.
want to discuss it with me and like, Kesh, I think I should do that. I'm like, I don't want to say, I told you so. I control myself there. We had that argument 2 weeks back where I was trying to say the same thing. I just like, okay, I know I created that. I know I'm creating this, but very different creation. So even with
Yeah.
your clients, like you're not the one who's going to get them the job, who's going to get them the car, who's going to get them the
Right.
stuff. As you said, you're lending your consciousness, you're lending your knowing of what is possible for them, what is working in their behalf, of what they have
Yeah.
going on. They have their own vortex,
Yeah.
and you want to just play along with them and just see them smile or see them whatever
Yeah.
feels good
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the trainer. Like, and that was like, that is worth $200 for
And
30
see,
minutes of
that's how I feel. Phew,
that
I
for
did my job. I did my work.
exactly.
Good. And that was easy.
That was easy. That was fun. That was easy
Yeah.
and that was
And I didn't have any feeling of that's not enough. It
hmm, so good.
was like I've already seen it working out. And I'm
Yeah,
like, that's at least worth $200.
exactly. So good. That is so
Yeah.
good.
And by the way, my friend, I did tell her $99, and I added, and what do you think about that, or something like that. And she didn't say anything at first. She when I told her the amount, and I was thinking, ooh. And then I asked her the question. She said, I was thinking it'd be more.
Oh my God, Melanie. You said that the last time. She probably thinks it's too less. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I'm glad I stuck to the 99. And I also told her, I said, well, that's good to know, that you think it would be more.
Good. That is so good. I love these two experiences have like I think somewhere shifted your comfort with charging in some ways. Like I
Yeah,
think these experiences, something has shifted a little bit in the
yeah,
direction of feeling better and better and better about it.
yeah,
So glad that you manifested that. It's like so I mean, of course you manifested that, but I love
yeah. It feels good. And she was like, and because it's been a while, I hadn't communicated with
yeah.
her about it. And she said, did you send me something about this? I haven't seen anything. And then I was firm, about what I wanted to charge and everything. And it was just a very casual conversation. We talked about a lot of other things. I was kind of dreading it, and I just said, Lovey, I just want to feel really good about this, and that this
Yeah.
goes easily and well. And that's pretty much, it was just like, she was like, well, whenever you're ready, we're going to
Wow.
do it. She said, I'm going to pay you this way, I think. And send me over your email so that I can, send it to that email. And so now it's kind of like after reading Chillpreneur, it's like, it's not going to be perfect.
Mm.
Just do it.
Okay. Do it, yeah.
Yeah.
You put too much pressure on it again. I mean, look at what you did for Reina. Like it was
Exactly.
like there was no like we think we need all the frills and all the fancy stuff, but you just did that's the actual work. That's the heavy
Yes.
lifting.
Exactly.
And you did it right there. Everything
Exactly.
is an added bonus for you to feel good about it. Oh, what if I do it this way? Like when you told me about the invoice, I was like, I could create beautiful invoices. Like that feels good to me. Like, it's just like that idea was like, yeah, I could do that. That feels good. Like I would,
Yeah.
it adds a layer of appreciation for who's coming in.
Yeah.
But, it's just for us because it just gets to be for your joy, whatever you, and I think you wrote it on your focus field also, any techniques and any, processes or anything. That's just like an added thing. That's not the thing that you're selling, or that's not the thing that you're bringing to the table, and no one really cares about it also. Like in general, like they feel good about it if there's something that comes from your heart.
Yeah.
Like your aunt was like, yeah, I don't want to see the presentation, like tell me what you have.
Work with me face to face. That's what I want.
Exactly. And you were nervous about the presentation a little bit, like she just wanted to like you have that vibe with you. So I think I don't know. I think you're like doing so well, Melanie. What's something that you want to play with? Like what's cutting edge for you?
Ooh, let's see.
Your cutting edge idea. Where do you want to go?
I don't know. That's a good question. Wow, how come I didn't think of that? Well, the first thing that came up was the idea of doing this imagining work. It's not really imagining, but creating, seeing this other person who is just doing really, really well and supported clearly by their inner being. That I see that more in my interaction with anybody, particularly at work. I want to play with that. Because it feels like if I feel really clear about that, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty with my clients. I don't need to. I can already see that there's, this is just happening, and it's fun and easy and valuable, for people. So that's what I would say. That's, to me, feels like the most cutting edge and just like out there. And I want to let go of, I want to just have fun with this thing I'm doing for Lois and her girls, and just like be popping with ideas that I can do to make it more and more fun for myself, and hopefully for them too. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to do this. This is going to be so much fun. Oh, they're going to really like this. Oh, this is so much fun. That kind of thing. Yeah. And I really want to feel that way when I'm doing a workshop with somebody, because I'm seeing, I could do huge, it's not so much hugeness, but I can do workshops with people. I can develop this area so that, I even like, if I need a document camera, if I need this, I want to develop my teaching area and do teaching with people. I have more of a coaching style teaching idea, that's how it would be. And I'm sitting on my couch and I'm doing it and having fun, and people are going, yeah, this is great, and that's all it takes, that I make it so easy for myself and so me. Like for years, I have wanted to put this is my desktop computer sitting here that I'm looking to you on, sitting on my coffee table. so that I can sit on my sofa and
Oh my
just,
God.
because that's what I've always wanted, is to be able to sit on my sofa and do work. And
And now
just
it's
because,
happening.
yeah. And so I want to be able, I'd love to, like I've copied some of the, I've subscribed to this lady's teaching one, and she's very animated too.
Mm-hmm.
And about how to set it up, how to make it so it's easy. Like I'm going to get a screen here, that gives me a nice firm background, and, I can put things up on there, or I can move with, maybe it's my iPad and I can go over to my work area and show people collage stuff, and, just this whole space, because I had dreamed that this space is my studio,
Oh,
a living
yum.
room / studio. So I could just do that here.
I I have to say thank you for this session. Like at the end of this thing, I'm gonna say thank you for this session. Like I you watch the recording and see how lit up you are. I'm just like basking in your light right now. This
Yeah,
is
yeah. Now, do you get the recording? I need to send the recording to you, right? Or do you?
I I don't get the recording. I
Okay,
haven't seen
I can send it to you if you like.
yeah, I think I would
Okay.
love this is so precious. Like I'm just like, absorbing all the beautiful light that's coming through you and you're
Yeah,
firing all these ideas that are coming through. Like all of this, you are there right now. You don't need to
yeah,
do anything else. Like you don't have to think in this direction. You don't have to do anything. Like
yeah,
while you're here, savoring the idea of how I can make this a better space for me. How can I, enjoy
yeah,
this more? And how can you're there, you're doing
yeah,
all the work that you have to do in the world right here, you're allowing, you're in the zone, you're in the vortex right here right now.
yeah,
There's nothing else that you need to do. That is the work.
yeah.
And I love that, like as you were visualizing or imagining with Reina, I know you can also imagine the fun that you could have with your friend and
With
her
my,
daughters. Just like
yeah,
what if, just the same what if, just
yeah,
the playful what if, we
yeah,
have so much fun. And it doesn't have
yeah.
to be that I'm visualizing this because I'm going to make it happen. That's
Right.
exactly what I'm saying. It could just branch off in any direction and just stay there for the joy of just the imagining of the
Mm,
thing,
yeah,
right? But for you to imagine and for you to have fun with it, not to make it happen.
yeah.
And so if you imagine like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we do that? Wouldn't it be fun if we had like a laughter riot? What if like all of
Yes,
us like
yes. That's what I was like. It's like we're just laughing. It's just so we just, and
yeah,
they're, me and them, and we're it's a memory. I mean, it's like, oh, remember that time we had so much fun, doing that.
exactly. And that becomes something, and
Yeah,
that in itself is whole and complete. You imagining
yeah,
that, you having fun with that,
yeah,
and just letting it be there. I mean, I think that gets to be everything.
yeah.
And what you mentioned about you playing with your inner being and also that of your clients, like when
Mhm.
you hold that vision so strongly as you do, that this is where I see you, like I'm stepping into this session or whatever, I'm just
Mhm.
imagining, okay, your inner being's there, already seen what you want to get. You won't even have to do a process or something. You'll see the person because of your where you are, like you're here.
Yeah.
The person might them on their own have these insights and they'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much, Melanie. And you were like, I didn't say anything, but okay, you're
Which
you
you
should be like,
must do, which you probably do, that you do. Yes. By
I
your
notice it.
energy. Yeah.
I notice it quite often that I am trying to say something and someone else will be like, oh my God, that day when you mentioned that. And quite often when someone says that, my face is clueless. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I said that. That was intentional. Yeah, I'm so glad it shifted everything. And I don't even remember. Like I must have meant something or something. Oh, and that is it. It gets to be so easy, it
Yeah. Yeah.
gets to be that is valuable.
Yeah.
And you already have that. Like I'm just like enjoying this session. I'm getting so much out of the session. Like I'm here. I'm loving it so much. So I'm
It
excited.
feels good. It feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel a bit more comfortable or at home with this new feeling, with this new awareness that you've been having, all these new awarenesses, like
Yeah.
does it feel fresh or new in some way that okay, something has shifted,
Oh,
something
yeah.
is yeah.
Definitely. I feel that there's been a shift, and I'm not even, I mean, I've noted the awareness is down. I actually write in my journal and I generally don't look back at it. It's
Same,
like it
same.
puts it down and then I kind of put it in my, my memory. But I don't even want to necessarily analyze it, or, it's just something, a feel good memory that I want to bring up
Mm-hmm.
at times and just feel good about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
I feel that definitely there was a shift. And now that it's been a couple of days, it's almost like, you know how it is. You maybe you've experienced it. You have a shift and it seems
mm,
huge at the time.
yeah,
And then you
and
think
then
back on it, it's like, that was very great, but didn't feel so
yeah,
big now. So
yeah.
that's kind of how it feels. It feels like
But
that.
then you'll have something new come up. You'll have something
Yes.
new, and I
Yeah.
remember once I had like a major like whoa kind of thing, and
Mm.
then it like was such a beautiful, like I felt it throughout my body, like a
Oh
recalibration sort of.
yeah.
I loved it, like felt different throughout my body.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of days, it kind of faded away. I remembered what it was, and I
Mhm.
was telling someone else about it, and they got so excited about it, like they kind of had the same feeling. And I'm just like, I know what you're feeling right now, but it's like past for me. But I'm glad that you're enjoying it right now. It was Sheila. You remember Sheila? You also did a session with her.
Oh
Like
yeah,
on
Sheila. They used to
she was
call her Savvy Sheila. Yeah,
uh-huh. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
right after you did an episode with her, I had one with
Oh,
her,
okay. Yeah.
and I was sharing with her this new awareness that I had, and just like when we got to that part, like just for the next 45 minutes or something, she was just trying to find the words to, play with this whole thing. Like it only became about that. And it was fun. It was super fun. But like she was there, and I'm like, I've already done that. I'm already there. But I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying where you
Yeah.
are. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you have more and more new awarenesses. Like you would. I'm so glad. I feel there's nothing to fix. Like today we have
Yeah.
nothing,
Nothing to fix. Nothing to
only to
fix.
savor, only to enjoy, only to
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah. But that's, you know what? That's what I want my coaching with people to be. Nothing to fix. That we realize there's nothing to fix.
Hmm.
It's all unfolding. It's all happening. It's all, you know, just
And you seeing evidence of this also, like things,
mhm.
coming to you step by step, ideas coming to you,
Yeah.
um, this whole sudden, wanting to shift everything. And now you have the desktop here at the coffee table, and you have your
Yeah.
sofa finally after so many, years that you've been thinking of doing it this way. And
Yeah.
it happened like that. And just like
Yeah.
that, everything else, I think also I feel like that urgency or that sense of I need to do it, just I need
Mm.
to do
Yeah.
something about it. That has kind of like melted away a
Yeah.
little bit.
It's softened,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
More the allower than doer now.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
I'm
I'm
just
going to allow to all the fun ideas and excitement to
mhm.
do this next thing. And actually, my friend who I walk with, Lynn, who was on the call when
Yeah. Yeah.
she told me I had forgotten totally. She wants me to show her my presentation on lining up with your vision. And I totally forgot about it. So I'm going to do
Wow.
that with her. Yeah, I'm going to talk to her and find out when she wants me to do it. So,
Melanie, you're on a roll. Like all these people are even before you, like you didn't have to market it to anyone. You didn't have to
yeah,
do anything.
I just told them about it, with excitement. Of course, I was very excited about it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no part of you which, because there's no need here to be salesy in some way that I have to tell people
Mm,
about it. You just share from your excitement that this is the joy that I have in creating collages and
yeah,
helping people see that for themselves, and you
yeah,
keep it practical. And whatever ideas that you have, Melanie, I would just invite you to play with that, like what we discussed in the last call, that the purpose that you thought of your business initially was to turn your
Mm.
ideas into, some
Monetize them. Yeah.
monetize it, right?
Hmm.
But if you have any ideas right away, and we changed that the ideas are for you to have fun. Money is different, ideas are different, business different, retirement different.
Yeah.
So if you have any ideas that come up for you now to play with, just like you were like, oh, let me just move the furniture around, let me just do it now. And
Mhm.
if you have any ideas that come up for you with regards to your work or otherwise, or just like you want to just switch on YouTube and just talk, because I would listen to you. I'm like
Mm.
enjoying listening to you right again. Whatever it might be, right? Without any end goal in mind that this needs to do
Yeah.
this, but
Gotcha. Yeah.
fun of it.
So, that was such a great explanation. I love what you just said, because I was still kind of trying to put in words, how do I put money here, you know, business here, and so that's the perfect. It's just doing it because I feel inspired to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, you're not the manager of things, you're not the maker of
Right.
things, you're just the perceiver of things falling into place, but your
Yeah.
job is only to have fun.
Right.
So, and in your fun, and I'm sure you see it in your life again and again, in your fun
Mhm.
you line up with everything that has already lined up for you. In your fun you call in the people, but then you have fun for the fun of it, not to call in the people, right? You just
Right. Yeah.
do it for the
But it's the
and
result. It just happens to be a
yeah,
result. Yeah. Mhm.
this is like
But
a
I'm not
byproduct.
doing it for that. And I tell you, I don't want to do it that way anymore, because it is tedious. It's difficult at times. It's highly resistant
Yeah,
producing.
not the way to do it anyway. Like it's not,
Yeah. It's not
the
productive.
at all. This is
Mhm.
productive, just to
Yeah.
have a good conversation, have a fun time, and talk. We are
Yeah.
lining up so many customers. We are like making
Yes.
body move in your direction just by this appreciation. And we're not doing it for that.
Yeah.
We're doing it because we're having fun. I'm
Yeah.
appreciating so much right now. This gets to be enough. So I'm
Yes.
loving that you're coming back to that more and more and more. And we're just gonna make it bigger. We're just gonna make it grow, and
Wow.
enjoy that, soak in it,
Good.
and bask in it. That this is what is my truth. This is
Yeah.
what my life is.
Yeah.
Things come to me while I'm having fun. Even at work,
Mm.
as you are sometimes thinking that, I feel bored. As you
Mhm.
said, I'm put out across these questions to Lovey Madison, and you can be like, because our inner beings are always having fun. Our inner beings are out there.
Yeah.
They're not here with us, right? So you could be like, where are you right now, Lovey Madison? In the situation, what are you
Yeah.
focusing
Oh, that's a good
on right
question. Yeah. Hmm.
now? So let me
Yeah.
tune into you. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna see you up there. I know you're not coming down here with me in my boredom. So let
Right.
me like connect with you and turn my head around towards what you're seeing. And quite often you would be directed towards something fun. You'd want to
Yeah.
move towards somewhere where you would have a co-creation, or something simply as simple as some imagination. Like you go in your imagination somewhere and you're just savoring it. Oh, remember the time when I was in the car and it felt so good. Or what if we have like a great laughter session or something, whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get to like play with Lovey Madison where
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I could just go on and talk. We're having so much fun. But I
Ah.
think if there's something else that you would want to like talk about, I think
Um, well, yeah, just something to the side, maybe some more like fun.
mhm.
Um, a partner is on the verge, I'm sure, for me.
Yes, let me tell you, you
Um,
look so attractive. Can I take a moment?
thank you.
Because I've been appreciating you throughout the session right now. I'm seeing, I don't know, I've seen only your face in general. I mean, it sounds a little bit of, I don't want to objectify or something, but you look so good. Like I've never seen like, you
Oh,
look so good.
I think I have a nice little figure.
Wow,
I work out all the time.
you are so fit. Oh my God. Oh my I I mean I didn't notice you see any.
And I know, and this is what 60, almost 66 looks like.
Wow.
I got 4 years before I'm 70. I can't even believe it. It's like, wow. But
Redefined.
yeah, absolutely. And
Ageless,
I,
of
I,
course.
t- I tend to still, I keep on loving listening to, I listen to romance novels
Mm-hmm.
as a practice.
Yeah, yeah.
And the hunkier the description, the better, you know? So, and I know, and sometimes I tell myself, definitely this person's going to be in great shape,
Mm-hmm.
an idea of health like I have,
Yeah.
youthful, all that. But I tend to feel attracted to men who are much younger than me, partly
Okay.
because of their just their mindset about their bodies.
Yeah. Oh,
And
okay.
so somebody telling me, like us, we're getting old like us, I'm like, oh, excuse me,
Like you, I'm not.
excuse me, I don't think so.
Who are you talking to?
Who are you talking to? Not that, and I do have some things about getting old kind of
Mm-hmm.
talk and viewing
Yeah.
myself, but I I want to fully embrace that someone who I too, truly want a romance novel, except for the drama, maybe humor, a humorous romance novel.
Yeah.
um, and I've been also watching Black Love, which is
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, and
Yeah.
I'm
You.
I'm I see myself ready to have
Mm-hmm.
someone, and not from struggle, not
Yeah.
from, I don't feel a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just think, oh, what would it be like to hug him? I take my pillow and I'll
Yeah.
hug my pillow
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have the angst that I've had in the past, or the feeling like
That's
I'm missing something, or when is he coming, or, all that kind of
yeah.
stuff. But it's just been nice to just think about that and feel that energy of someone, and and to be sexual, and to be, you
Mm-hmm.
know, active in that way.
Yeah.
So I have some resistance around, things
Mm-hmm.
like age. He's younger, he'd be younger, I want someone younger. You shouldn't want that. Yeah,
Oh.
that's throw that aside. um, um, so I'm not, this was another thing. I don't know how much time we have, but
We
just
have all
if
the
I could
time.
say it quickly, is I've been very fascinated with, and have studied Tantra. From
Okay.
Been
Yeah.
fascinated with it since, oh my goodness, 20 years maybe.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I started taking a course in
Mm-hmm.
Tantra for women, and I'm a big, like, pleasure yourself,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
advocate, even
Of course.
though I don't always, for myself as frequently as
Mm-hmm.
I probably would, I think, if I
Yeah.
were to really do. But um, I realized that there is still that approach, that we're dealing with trauma, and that's why we're doing this Tantra.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of you're all these women are traumatized, and so that's why we're recommending Tantra. That's an approach from the school that I was taking,
Mm.
learning Tantra from.
Okay.
No,
No more.
I don't want
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I want Tantra for pleasure, because pleasure is about pleasure.
Pleasure.
It's about
Period.
pleasure for it's valuable. It's,
Yeah.
it's good on its own. And
Exactly.
So that would definitely be an aspect of, I'd like to have
Mhm.
a partner I can practice Tantra with,
Yeah. And
who is really into it and really wants to, explore that. Have you ever seen the site Beducated?
no, no, I've
It's
heard of,
Be
I
with
mean, I know,
Educated, and
uh-huh.
they have a nice little site, and it's all types of sexually related things, but it's about honoring it. And the couple that developed it are basically Tantra based,
Hmm.
which is maybe more of a general term. It's that they honor it, as opposed
Okay.
to it not being that, that there's some taboo about it, or this or that. And I was looking at their site today again, because I've been a member for a while, but I only have a couple of their classes. Um, but anyway, that's an aspect that I want to add to my life, as
Another
a,
cutting edge desire, of course. I remember
yeah.
I saw Michael B. Jordan on one of your collages. I don't
Oh,
know if
yeah.
it was Vision Board, I think one of the programs or something. I was like, yum. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes. And
Yes.
I that I mean, like there's no question of age. There's no, of course, you know these things in your head, but it's
Yeah.
another thing to feel it shift in your, in your whole being.
Yeah.
But you said that you've played with the idea, or you're fascinated with the idea of Tantra for like 20 years.
Hmm.
So um, I know, so 20 years is a long time. So now, have you had those shifts? Like, do you feel more open about it since back then, for sure? Like,
I do feel definitely more open about it, and I have a better understanding of myself,
mm,
around it. And um, since it's interesting, I had the cancer that I had was vaginal cancer.
oh, okay.
So it's interesting where it was located. And supposedly, I had sexual abuse as a child. So, that's kind of how I ended up with the school that I was looking into, because of that, that kind of focus. But the other part of it about is I've had, um, uh, what do you call it? Venereal infection,
Hmm.
so, and that's not present right now. I like really prayed that away.
Yeah.
And then I found out that I had cancer, which was almost like, it was like, I prayed for that to be gone. And then it was almost like that was the solution, almost, so that I
Mm,
could release resistance around that.
mm,
Um, and I don't want to continue to have resistance about that, because I, I'll tell you, what I would like, my ideal, would that I would be able to explore myself sexually with different
yeah.
people, and
Yeah.
not feel like I'm in danger. I mean, safely, in the
Hmm. Hmm.
safely,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but explore that before I even have one partner, that
Partner.
I'm
Okay.
with for a life partner for years. And
Got
I
it.
kind of started that, and there were, anyway, it was an interesting journey.
Okay.
I did go out with a guy. I did start seeing a guy. Actually, we were more like, it was a sexual relationship. That was clear from the beginning. That's all it was going
That's
to
it.
be. And he
Mm-hmm.
was 35,
Nice. Good.
and nice,
Yeah.
tall,
Yeah.
handsome. He was
Amazing.
a physical, personal trainer. So his
Wow.
body was like, oh my goodness. It was just so, woo.
Wow.
And every week we'd see each other, and,
Yeah.
but, and that was just like kind of a fun experience that, I mean,
Mhm.
there were some twists and turns, of course, but,
Yeah.
ultimately it was like, I felt very like, I want to feel desirable
Mm.
no matter what. But I
Ah,
think that
okay.
was kind of attached to this person, and how
Hmm.
he looked, how
Okay.
he
Yeah.
He was, attracted to me, and I'm
Uh,
like, hey,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes me pretty cool because this
True.
35-year-old guy is interested,
Practice. Got
and
it. Got
there are periods of time where I'm very sure about that. And I mean, and I attract men
Mm-hmm.
who are like in their 30s,
Yeah.
who are like the 7-Eleven guy. He said, people probably tell you all the time, how attractive you are. Where do you work? That kind of thing.
Wow.
I've only probably in the last few years dated one guy that was my age.
Mm-hmm.
All of
And
them
that's
have been younger, their
mm-hmm.
50s, 40s,
Mm-hmm.
and so this
Really.
guy was the youngest. 20s probably too young for, for me right now. And even
But
30s maybe, but it depends on the person, really.
depends on the person. So I love that you said that, you don't want it to be attached to the person. I was just having this conversation with Shruti the other day, and we were talking about how when you're in the infatuation period, as Abraham Hicks, they say, when you are in falling in love with someone, you find them as an excuse to get into
Oh,
alignment, right?
that's right. Yeah,
there
yeah, yeah.
there's the excuse. And then we were talking about all these things that when we are falling in love and when we are infatuated, one thing they say to us that, oh, your hair looks beautiful. You think about it all day. You take that one good thought and you just stretch it for 24/7, and you're not thinking about your bills or your taxes or anything. Like, you do it automatically what Abraham tells you to do because it's an excuse. And you want to dress up more beautifully, you want
Yeah,
to like feel good in your own body, but then again, that person is just an excuse for us to feel good,
gotcha.
for us to
Yeah,
dress up, for us to feel
yeah,
desirable.
yeah.
Because if you eliminate the person out of this equation, like that's just an excuse. We
Right.
still get to feel good. We still get to be like,
Yeah.
oh, my hair looks good, or I look beautiful, or my skin is glowing, or look at my ass, like,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
And we look at ourselves with those eyes because we think, oh, because there's someone in my life who's also seeing me like this.
Yeah.
But
But we
now
can
we
do
know,
that for ourselves.
yeah, and we
Yeah.
know that this is going to attract also more of that, but we don't need
Mhm.
to do this to attract people. We just want to
Right.
give that
To
validation or
ourselves.
appreciation to ourselves in
Mhm.
every form, not just like
Right.
I want to feel worthy, and I want to feel like this is something, like I want to feel sexy, I want to feel like
Yeah.
beautiful, I want to feel like this. And
Yeah.
that's just a desire that we have, that's how I want to be, I want to feel.
Yeah.
And we can wait for someone to make us feel like that, or we could just cut the excuse and get to that.
Right.
Right? You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
wait for someone or just something to happen to put on that beautiful dress, or otherwise we're just like whatever, right? We don't dress up
Yeah.
as much, but we do it for ourselves, and the
Mhm.
byproduct again would be that you attract the person, but again, you do it
Right.
for yourself.
Right.
So the pleasure
Yes.
that you will
I
feel for
like
yourself,
that. Yeah.
you get to it. You don't have to
Yeah.
wait for the other person, like,
Yes.
you
Yes.
start feeling like that for yourself. You have the permission, so to say, to
Mhm.
feel like that. And then we
Yeah.
can come around the age thing and whatever other resistance there might be. But the
Yeah.
most important thing is that feeling what you want to feel with that relationship, with the partners, or with whatever it might be. The
Right.
feeling that you want to do it, to give it to yourself already.
Yeah.
And you have all the means to have a beautiful sensual experience. Like, it's not just about, you know, the sex part of it, but also to dress up beautiful, to put on like a good
Mhm.
perfume, to put in candles, or just,
Mm.
just do something nice for yourself. How
Yeah.
you want to be treated by a partner, basically. You
Yeah.
do it for
For
yourself because
myself.
you deserve it.
Mm.
And that starts to shift, because then you're giving yourself permission that, I'm allowed to feel like this. I'm
Yeah.
allowed to feel like, at whatever age. First of all, like, you are ageless, like that is true, but like
Mhm.
in general, for anyone, it's true that at whatever age, whatever
Yeah,
shape,
it's true.
whatever, you're allowed to feel like those feelings. You don't have to wait for some guy in the
Mm.
shining armor to deem
Right.
you as Like, okay, you're
Night
hot.
me.
I me hot. So you don't need a person to do that. But
Yeah,
funnily enough, when you do that, the person will show up.
yeah,
So, or the
got
people you
it.
want to, they will
Yeah,
show up.
yeah.
So maybe let's do that this week. I think that would be
Okay,
fun.
that sounds like fun. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This week was calendar. Last week was getting into well-being, and this week is
Yeah.
like, amping it up, feeling good,
Okay.
feeling yourself, feeling really,
All
really nice.
right.
You can say if you like put up like a new dress or something, you can send me
Mhm.
pictures. Just let me know what you're doing. It'll be super
Okay.
fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a lot. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Let's play with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Love it.
Okay.
Okay, I think we are complete, or we can just keep going on and on.
Well, let me
I
just
hope
tell you this one last thing that I forgot to say that happened this week is I decided to get a Zoom membership.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
So I could also do this work more. Yeah.
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 This is good. This is how did that happen? Like, how did
It's
you feel?
I just inspired, you know. This I thought, oh, see, I was thinking, okay, oh well, if I do it this one time, I'm not, is it worth it doing this one time? And then I thought, I want to have a Zoom birthday party.
When's your birthday?
So when I get that together, I'll send you an invitation.
Yum. Sure. I will do
And I
that.
thought, oh, well, I want to do that. Well, let's see, maybe, what if I do a lot of workshops? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I'll need more than, I can't do it with just two people,
My heart is bursting with pride and with love and appreciation for you. I can't say. My face is like, oh, this is so good. Oh my God.
See what you did. See what you opened up. Oh my goodness. It's out of control.
Exactly. For me itself, it's like out of control. I'm so glad. But I love, again, inspired action all the way through.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
whatever you need to do,
Yeah.
it's all going to fall into place.
Yeah.
Always.
Gotcha.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you for sharing that. That's just so fun. It keeps
All
getting
right.
better.
So we got a fun week ahead. I'll let you
Yes,
know,
we
send
do.
you pictures and everything. All right.
I'll
Okay.
also play along. I think
Okay.
I love this idea.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I
Yes.
think I would like to play along. I'll see if
Okay.
Shruti and Anmol want to join in. I don't know because
Yeah,
they also
yeah.
manifest their partners. But this is not about them or anything. This is
Right.
about you doing
Okay.
it for yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever, whoever does at their own pace, even me. But you do it for you.
Okay.
You
All right.
feel good,
Okay.
just perfect as you are. Okay. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for
Thank
this. Like
you.
literally, thank you for this session. This is so good. I'm gonna ask you for a recording later on. You don't have to figure it out right now. But this is
Okay.
something that
All
like,
right.
whoa, this was out there. Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you for this, Melody. So happy. Bye. Have a great day.